regarding this one, last class we were discussing about the social organization in mammals. Some of you were here, some of you are not here. So here, this is another aspect we are taking from an invertebrate animal. We have to study one case, how social organization is working in ants. Now, some idea you may be having. So, ants are one of the most social type of animal. They are living in thousands of members together in a colony. And there are different types of ants. Also, you can find some of the ants are living below the soil underground. Some may be living on in trees, and some may be making mounds. Here you can find. So this is one type of ant known by the name carpenter ant, usually common among wood or trees. So this type of different ants are there, and there is another type of ant known as army ant. And these of army ant, they are not making any kind of permanent homes, and what they do is that they will be seeking out food for their enormous colony during type of wandering or migration. So this is another type of ant nest. You may have noticed this kind of ant nest. So ants are living sometimes on soil, sometimes below the soil, sometimes on the trees. We have one type of ant known as Pulirumb or Ecophylla, red tree ant. So they are mainly tree-dwelling ants. So different types of ants are there. This is the army ant. See, they are moving together in large numbers, and they will be collecting their food during their migration. This is known as the army ant. So one thing that we have to understand about the ants is that most of the time, sometimes a colony may be having up to 5 lakh individual. So the number of individuals in a colony may be very large, very huge. So the nest of the colony that you can see here, these are known as Formicaria. The nest of an ant colony is known by the name Formicaria. And another peculiarity that we can see in the use of ants is that they are very much devoted to their colony. That is, work is worship. That is extreme form of dedication to their colony, and that kind of work is worship attitude is exhibited by many ant members. Here also we can see that how ants are making their colony, and these are the pupae, and how pupae will be taken care of. This is another type of ant nest or Formicaria, which is placed above the soil, and sometimes you might have come across this kind of, there are different thousands or hundreds of species of ants are there in Kerala. So if you want to study something for a project, you can also take an species diversity of ants in Kerala. So it's an interesting group. You can take photos of different ants, and you can also study about the habitat of ants, their nest of ant, their morphology of the ant. Then ant communities normally are considered are usually having a queen. Queen will be the head of the colony, and there will be several workers are there. 3 types of members are present in an ant colony. One is queen. Queen is the main feature of the queen is laying eggs. Reproductive function is completely done by the queen. Then another type of worker is the worker. As in the case of honeybee, they have worker. Workers are also female, but these workers are not capable of reproduction, or they are sterile female or unfertile female, and their duty is to collect or forage for food and care of the queen's offspring, and whatever works are present in the nest, they will be done by the worker females. Then third category is the male ants. Male ants, they have only one function, mating the queen. Reproduction, giving sperm to the queen is the only function, and after that they will be died. So these are the 3 different type of individuals that we can find in an ant colony. See, this is the structure of an ant colony. So they have a very beautiful engineering system of producing their nest. Now, what we see above the colony, here you can see that. So what we are seeing above is just a part. Below it, it will be looking like a structure like this one. So this is how the different type of points are there. See, there is a ventilating hall, there is a entry point for, there is an expansion point, living space. So different type, just like a very large house has a living room, kitchen, bedroom, that kind of arrangement is also present in this underground colony. So here you can see that this is the normally, if you queue, it will be a larger in size. Then there is a male, and then there is two types of workers are there. One is known as a main normal sized worker. Another will be having a very larger body, more powerful mandibles will be there, and their function is protecting the colony from any kind of attackers or intruders, and they are known as soldiers. So normally we say queen, male and worker. Workers can be divided into normal sized worker as well as soldiers. So this is also another picture showing an ant colony, how the structure of an ant colony will be present. Now here they have a polytheism. Honeybees are also exhibiting polytheism. That is, which means caste are specialized to carry specialized duties in the colony. So that is, male member has a function, that is to give helping mating or giving sperms, whereas queen function is to lay eggs. Where workers are concerned, function of the worker is to do whatever duties are available in the colony. So that is why that kind of nature is known as a polytheism. Then queen has a large abdomen to lay lot of eggs. That is 2 million or 3 million eggs can be laid by a queen. 1 million means 10 lakhs. So 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs eggs can be laid by a queen and in a year. And males fertilize that, and workers have a broad sharp mandible for cutting and chewing, and soldiers have a larger, this is the soldier, and they have a large, compared with the worker, the head of a soldier will be larger, and they have a dagger means kadara, that is the meaning of dagger like mandible for fighting. So this is how the morphology of the worker and soldiers are there. And as here you can see that both the type of worker, whether they are soldier or a normal worker, they do not have any reproductive function. They are mainly sterile females. So here this is another ant. You might have observed this kind of thing. Can you tell me which is this ant? This ant is a popular ant in Kerala. Mushar, that otherwise known as Puliyurumba. In English we call it as red tree ant. Scientifically it is known as Ecophylla smaragdina. And there is one type of spider which is mimicking this eco. I will show you. See, there are number of see here also you can see that. See there, this is the, here you can see that this is the ant. You can see that this is the ant, and there is one type of spider. See, have you seen this spider? This is not an ant. Actually, this is a spider. See, but it is mimicking this ant. See, almost look like the body of an ant. And I will show you another. What they are doing, they will be, see here also you can see that. And by mimicking the ant, they can enter the ant colony. Otherwise, entering into an ant colony is very difficult. See, and they will catch the spider. So this kind of mimicry is exhibited by many spider. And you can also study about such kind of mimicry exhibited by different type of organisms. Spiders are exhibiting lot of ant mimicry. The purpose of ant mimicry is to catch the ants and feed on that. Otherwise, ants means thousands of members. If you enter into an ant colony, they will kill most of the organisms, because they are though small, they are a large group. So they are attacking multiple directions and kill the organism. But ants are many species are exhibiting this kind of ant mimicry. Their purpose is that to get protection. That is one way, so that most of the animals do not attack ants. So that way they will get protection, and they also feed on the ants. So this is the purpose of ant mimicry. So this is how another mechanism. This see this Ecophilus marag, they are making a bridge. They move from one tree branch to another tree branch by offering their body as a bridge, and other members can move over their body bridge. So this kind of body bridging mechanism is also exhibited by this kind of tree ants. So here you can find different type of ants also. This is another species of ant. See, ants usually having a wing, but after the reproduction, after the mating is over, these wings are all gone. Then ants have a poor eyesight and deaf, and eyesight is very poor and they cannot hear any sound, and they are deaf and have a highly sophisticated chemical language. In last class I talked about pheromones. Pheromones are scent molecule. They produce a type of scent molecule known as pheromones, and these pheromones are attracting the members of the colony, and by their endless antennal caressing. See, this is known as the antennal caress. It is not a kissing, they are actually sharing their smell molecules with each other. So each of them will be giving their smell, and this process is known as antennal caressing and licking and nuzzling, during which they trade food, glandular secretion and enzyme. And this process is known as trophollaxis. This entire event is known as a trophollaxis. The purpose of trophollaxis is that they are giving the food particle, they will be sharing enzymes and also pheromone secretion. Then most ant species excavate nest in the ground or wood, but some construct suspended nest on tree made of earth, carton, wax, silk, etc. Like safari ants. Safari ants, I will show you. This may be the safari ants. I will show you a picture of safari ants. So here also you can. These are the safari ants. See, this type of ants are there. So here you can see that their antenna is, their mandibles are all different. This is the nature of the safari ants. So in the case of safari ants, what is it? They do not, what the nature of the safari ants, as I told you in the case of army ant, they do not make any nest. They are simply wandering in a large group. That is the nature of the safari. See, this is another picture showing safari ants. So safari ants and army ants, they will be moving in large numbers or migrating in large numbers, and during their migration they will be getting the food. Desert ants build crater-like nests or mounds in which they are able to maintain temperature much below the outside here. That is another thing. So some ants are living in desert. What they do is that they will be building underground nest. And in the underground nest, the temperature, for example, desert temperature is 50 degree. In an underground nest, the temperature may be 30 degree or 35 degree. So that way it will be able to produce an air-conditioned nest below their soil. And tropical ant, known as Echophylla, makes nest by webbing the leaves with a silken thread. So here I will show you how Echophylla is webbing of leaves by see, this is another, this you might have noticed that this kind of webbing of leaves, see, this you have noticed, and this is known as a webbing of leaves. What they bring together several leaves and stitch them together, and they will be living inside there. This is known as a webbing of leaves, and this is a important nature of this red tree, and that way they are making their nest. So this is another, these kind of things you can use for your project work, how they are making their web nest, but sometimes you have to be careful also. Then this is another picture of ant. Then this ant is known as a cataglyphis. So whenever a generation of queen and male mature, it leaves the mating, it leaves for a mating flight. Shortly after the mating, males will be dying, and the queen, which are fertilized, will be returning to the ground, and they will be establishing a colony. And the queen bites off or scrapes off her wings, excavates a chamber, and proceeds to lay eggs. So that means after the fertilization, normally what queens are doing is that they will be going underground and produce a colony and laying thousands of eggs. And females develop from fertilized eggs, and males from unfertilized. See, as in the case of honeybee, there can be two types of eggs. One is a fertilized eggs. Fertilized eggs will all develop into females because they need eggs. Whereas unfertilized eggs will be developing into male. That is the case that we observe in the case of honeybees also. So eggs can be two types, but some eggs which are fertilized will be developing into female. Eggs which are not fertilized by male sperm will be developing into unfertilized males. So the females become queen or worker depending on the type of nutrition they are receiving. If there are special type of food which are given to the queen members, and they will be developing into bigger female, and they become queen. So this is how the first generation of larvae. That is, when queens are laying eggs, they will be producing lot of children or offspring. They are usually cared by the queen itself by giving them food from their body, which enlarges. And after the first generation, a number of workers will be these workers will be then taking care of the queen as well as creating newer generation. So it is thought that production of mates by queen and rearing of new queen by workers may be controlled by hormonal secretion of the members of the court. So that is one important thing, how these ants are staying together, how they have very strict devotion to the members of each other. In some species, queen cannot establish a colony, and they may be adopted by workers of another colony. That kind of nature is also there. That the another type is a slave making ant. They will raid the nest of other species, carry off the larva pupa to serve as workers. That is what they do, is that they will be attacking other ant colony, and from that ant colony they will be taking away lot of larvae and also pupa, and this larva and pupa will be taken to their home colony, where they will be using these ants as slave ants to use as workers in their colony. So that kind of very strange phenomena are also observed in the case of slave making ants. See, this is how, see here that these kind of smaller ants, they bring another ant into their colony, and they will be using this ant as a worker ant. Just like worker, people have used African people as slaves in the colonial time. This the same nature they are also doing here. So this is an idea how ants are working, what is about the social nature of the ants, and what is the importance, what are the different types of ants. Mainly you have to understand what is trophallaxis, and another point that you have to keep in your mind, what is polytheism. Then one more point is what are the different type of ant communities. Here you can see that queen is there, male is there, worker is there, soldier is there. This is an idea regarding what are the different type of workers that we can caste that we can find in an ant colony.